Hey everyone, it's Matt. Welcome back to a new episode of Building the Chat app in Remix and Golang. So I'm super excited today because we reached a milestone and this is why I'm recording the video. It's been about 3 weeks since I last made an update. And in that time, I've been absolutely beavering away building this chat app. So you can see in front of us a railway diagram of the infrastructure behind the app. And I know in the last video, I spoke quite a lot about the architecture and how we're tackling scaling. So we've changed that up a little bit. And we've also got some new ideas in here. And of course, the actual functionality of the app is really improved. And we've even reached a milestone of chatting with people in the chat app in real time. So over the last couple of days, we've had some beta testers sign up, mostly from the Railway Discord, and thank you so much for your help. We've been talking to friends, sharing pictures, having a good time, and really, really enjoying this experience. So in front of us, you can actually see different blocks, okay? So we've got the EU block and the US block. And also thank you to Brody, because this wouldn't have happened without him. So he definitely gave me a lot of help yesterday setting this up. We configured a load balancer on Cloudflare that routes traffic to these zones. So Railway can support multiple region deployment. So you can pick EU, US, I think South Asia as well. You can run your services in those regions like this. And then we use Cloudflare to load balance between them. So Cloudflare will pick up the traffic where you're based currently physically, and then route those requests to the best server to your location. And this has had the effect of really increasing the speed of response of Wicked Chat, which is what I'm going for. I really want to build a chat app which is very fun to use and also really, really fast and good for SEO. So actually, I'll bring it up now. Here's our little chat app. You need to. It's already quite fast to just load that page. So we've got the chat experience now. We've got like replies. So you can see people who have chatted to me. We've got pictures, reactions, roles, profile pictures, thumbnail generation, which is the whole thing as well. So we've got a fast thumbnail generation using Cloudflare images. Got file uploads. And what's really cool as well is the WebSocket. So this came in quite recently, and I'm going to talk about that as well, about how we built it. But yeah, everything new that comes in after you've loaded this page, initially it's all built via the REST API. The Remix app basically makes the requests, multiple requests even, to the backend, all server side, generates the page that you see here, and then new stuff that happens is then sent over a WebSocket. So what this means is that I wanted to optimize how that data is fetched. So that's what the regions was for. Because it's all server-side rendering, we want the server to render as fast as possible and not block at all. And then we want new updates to, happen over the WebSocket. So that's how the sort of dynamic features of the app happen. So, for example, I'm logged on to Finn here, my good friend, and we're going to write another message here, for example. So we're going to do hello world. And down here, I'm also logged on as myself. So we're separate browsers, Chrome and Safari, and press enter. And then here we go. So the message is sent. And we've also got that like append feature. So, like if the same person is talking, then additional messages are appended to that thread, basically, or conversation message. So really, really happy with this. The actual query complexity is getting harder because I think initially when I built this, it was simply a fetch of users and messages, and I just render those messages. But as you probably guessed, like as you get more rich data, like files, reactions, and pictures and replies. Here we go. So there's a reply here. There's additional complexity in the type of query you're doing. And I'm really working to make those fast. So the goal is to write efficient SQL queries, and I'm learning a whole bunch about SQL here to make that possible. So one thing I want to go back to is the actual chat server. We've got the Remix app. We've also got the Golang app, and I think the big improvement that we've been working on is the actual chat server. So I'm really sort of enthusiastic, almost evangelical about Golang at this point, because it's really fun to use a language which is kind of like known for this superpower, and Golang has the superpower of building scalable kind of WebSocket servers, for the reason that it has Golang channels. So bear in mind, I'm still a very much new Golang developer, and I've never built a WebSocket server in my life. I've managed to get this going pretty fast, honestly. I'm really quite surprised. One of the things that stood out to me about Golang was the fact that you could do async things really trivially easy. This is different from some other languages, which may make it harder for you to do async things. Golang, you just have a keyword go, and it does something, and does it async. We've got built-in locking mechanisms for locking critical regions of code. So here's like a mutex lock. I'm unlocking it at the end of this return statement, and the critical part of the data structure is safely mutated. So that's cool. It's easy to run async tasks. It's easy to keep them, safe. The other thing which I've learnt in the time building the chat server is the way Golang channels work. So they achieve similar results to locking, but it kind of makes it easier as well to handle the sort of processing of data. So in the WebSocket server, you basically have a couple of events that are happening continuously. You've got like a client, he's connecting via your WebSocket, so you kind of need to register them. You've got situations where you need to unregister a client. Maybe the connection is timed out, or you're not able to send a message to that client anymore, so you just want to remove them from the web server. There's situations where we want to actually have clients subscribe to topics. So that's how, for example, when a user goes to a channel, they'll subscribe to that channel's new messages, and we'll be able to dispatch events. Anytime something happens in that channel, we'll be able to broadcast it to clients in that room. And that's really what the Go channels are helping with here. So we've got this big for loop, and basically the chat server is a for loop, and it has another keyword here, select. And basically there are different types of events, like I mentioned earlier, the subscribe and unsubscribe, register, unregister, and broadcast, and so on. Not too many. And it will go over those events and then process them in a safe way. And what's really cool about that is it means that those events, in fact, could be dispatched in a very multi-threaded way. We could have multiple clients all connecting in, sending messages to the server, but we're able to process those requests in a way which would avoid things like race conditions or errors dealing with the data. And I believe this will scale quite well, but we'll also need to test that. I mean, the fun thing is, honestly, because of my friends on the Railway Discord, we've actually had a little good chat. We've been talking on the chat server with a bunch of people here. We've got some 14 beta testers and a good few friends of moderators, and we've successfully chatted on the chat app, and they've all been using the WebSocket recently. So there's still quite a few bugs that I'm working through, and mostly it's around because we're building this in an interesting way, so we're using server-side rendering, and we're also using Remix to do client-side updates. I'm kind of making this pretty complicated in a way of managing state, because you've got multiple situations where state is changing in different places. You might have the server-side state, you've got the client-side state, and they all seem to need to work together. And you've got obviously events coming in through that WebSocket. So the app feels super, super fast, and that's the goal of this app, is to make these messages that you're typing in the chat server rendered server side, so we get those cool benefits of things like SEO indexing. So what I'd really like to be able to do is get this chat server going, talk about something like your favorite cat pics. We'll make it so that all the metadata around messages is really, really SEO optimized. And what we'll hopefully be able to achieve is the content within the chat servers will be picked up on Google, and then we'll be able to click on a Google link to that specific chat message, and it will take you to that chat message. So we're going to need to do some things to handle that. And I don't even know whether this has been done before in a chat server situation, because typically what would normally happen is if you have a chat server, only the latest messages are really shown. But in this case, what I want to do is actually make it so that you can refer back to that link. So for example, like let's say some really, really important thread come up, and it's really interesting, like a whole topic of conversation is just a nugget of information. I want that to be able to be search indexable. So you'll be able to go on Google, find that thing that we talked about in the past that was really interesting, and then click on that link, and it will take you to Wicked, and you'll find that area in Wicked. So we're gonna tackle that as well. I think the first part that we needed to do was basically get the data fast, SEO optimized, server-side rendered, which we've nearly achieved. We haven't done the SEO optimization yet, but we'll also do that too. And this search box isn't even operational yet, but we're going to tackle that. So I think over the next couple of weeks, hopefully by sort of end of January, we'll integrate Mealy Search, and we'll be able to like type something in and then find results on the data. And we'll also do all the picture uploads and videos and all those kinds of things. Get the permissions all sorted out, because it's not 100% finished yet. This is also still a closed beta. So unless you message me or contact me somewhere, you won't be able to actually talk to anyone on the chat server. But if you do, you're more than welcome to message me and join the private beta. And it's been a lot of fun, honestly. I just want to again say thank you to all the people that have signed up and are enjoying talking on the server. It's great to share this with you. Anyways, okay, so I'll be making more updates soon, and thanks so much for watching. See you soon. Bye.